According to the United Nations website, there are 6 official languages of the United Nations. These are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. The analysis of these languages show that Arabic is of Asian origin, the Chinese language also of Asian origin, English, although widely spoken, is of European origin, French, the same thing, of European origin, Russian of European origin, and also Spanish of European origin. Africa is not represented. The question is, does it mean that no African origin language is suitable to be added? Someone can say that Arabic is majorly spoken in parts of Middle East and also parts of North Africa. But it is a bit difficult to understand the criteria for the approval of these languages. Are there laid down criteria used for the approval of these languages that African languages do not fit into? Africa has over 3,000 languages. Most of them originated from Africa. Please, if you're watching us for the very first time, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that anytime we drop a new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified. We will as well appreciate your contributions and also be very happy if you help us to share our content. Some of the African origin languages were created based on relationship of Africa with some other parts of the world. Let's look at some of the family of languages that existed or that exist in Africa. We have the Niger-Congo language family. There's also the Afro-Asiatic languages. There's also Saharan, Nilotic, and Central Sudanic languages. There is also the Austronesian languages. There is also the Kol-Kwadi languages, and as well Indo-European languages. These Indo-European languages were mainly non-indigenous languages that came into Africa. Some examples of these languages are placed in this way. The Niger-Congo languages examples can be Igbo language, Yoruba language, Fula language, Swahili, Xhosa, Akan, Mor, Zulu, Ewe, and many others. The Afro-Asiatic languages are mostly spoken throughout North Africa. Some of them are Berber, Chadic, Cushitic, Omotic, Egyptian, and Semitic. Nilo-Saharan languages, some of them are Kanuri, Fu, Songhai, Niobin, Dinka, Luo, etc. Looking at the 6 official languages of the United Nations, one can be tempted to say or to start analyzing the criteria for qualification and approval. Also, one can as well ask why no African language qualified. For a continent of over 1.4 billion people, no indigenous language has been approved as an official language of the United Nations. This can be classified as an unfair treatment. Some of the languages in the officially approved language cannot be said to be widely spoken in some of the regions where they existed. There are some languages in Africa that are even more widely spoken than some of them. Maybe one can say that Africans have not really tried to be serious about this factor in order to push in any indigenous African language. Now let's look at some of the languages that can fall within the criteria of possibly addition. The highest among them from all analysis is Swahili or Kiswahili. Although some persons tend to argue that Swahili or Kiswahili is a mixture of some Afro-Indigenous language and some Arabic contents. Well, be that as it may, Swahili or Kiswahili, which is largely spoken in places like Tanzania, Kenya, and a good part of East Africa. It is spoken by over 200 million people. The language is officially the language of Tanzania, Rwanda, parts of Kenya, Uganda. This is according to Wikipedia. And this Swahili or Kiswahili language has been adopted by some international bodies within Africa. Some of these international bodies within Africa are the African Union, the East African Community, Southern African Development Community. Swahili is widely spoken also by some minorities in Angola, Burundi, Congo Democratic Republic, Mozambique, and Zambia. Another language that can be considered is Hausa language. Hausa is widely spoken in parts of northern Nigeria, Niger Republic, Chad Republic, and mainly northern part of Cameroon, Benin Republic or Republic of Benin, northern part of Ghana Republic, Togo, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. One very lovely thing about Hausa language is that Hausa language is a bit original in the sense that it's difficult to displace Hausa language in most of the regions where it is spoken. A good example of this is how dominant Hausa language is in parts of Nigeria, precisely northern part of Nigeria. Hausa language is strong and has strong assimilating rates. Then as well, Hausa language is given some national status in Nigeria and Niger Republic, even though it cannot be said to be the lingua franca of Nigeria, but some level of recognition is given to Hausa language. Another language is the Oromo language. The Oromo language is widely spoken in Ethiopia and parts of Kenya, Somalia, and as well in Egypt. There is also Yoruba language, which is widely spoken in parts of Nigeria, Benin Republic, and Togo Republic. Igbo is as well another language, and there are some other ones that may fall within this criteria. But the highest of them is Swahili. One can strongly believe that Swahili has gotten to the status of being given international recognition through the United Nations. Please, if you're watching us for the very first time, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that anytime we drop a new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified. We will appreciate your input or your comment on this particular discussion. Thanks for being part of this channel.